Monday, you handsome lot, and on the ramp today I've got a 2014 Hyundai i20, and it is a little diesel, and it's got a little bit of a coolant leak. Now I already have had a little look at this vehicle, and the radiator has split. Now I'm going to show you how I found it. It's obvious there's a lot of water underneath the car, but sometimes you can be misled, but you still need to double check. Now how I've checked it is coupled up my little pressure gauge, and this does come in with my vacuum and refill system. It is a brilliant kit, this is. There's various ends for all the Japanese stuff, and you also get a little adapter to check the caps as well, because sometimes I did have a Mitsubishi L200 which had been to 3 or 4 different garages, and they were like, oh yeah, you want an egg gasket, you want an egg gasket. So I said, let's check the pressure cap. So I coupled it up to my machine, bang, and it was blowing off at about 15 psi less than what it should be. Saved him a lot of money. But anyway, should we get involved and get this radiator off this car? Now, to gain access to this radiator, what we need to do is pull the front end off the vehicle, because it is a mounting bracket, 2 bolts there and 2 bolts there. So I believe, and I've been informed by ALLDATA, and this does give you a step-by-step guide how to take it off. Now, I don't like relying on technical information, because I'm one of them people that like to get involved and take things off. But at the minute, I'm finding this so handy, because over the years where I've sort of took a lot of components off to get something, I've looked at it, I've got, well, I didn't really need to take that off. This is helping me no end. Should we go ahead and get this front bumper off? I think there's various little plastic clips, and one thing or another, we might have to just take the front wheels off to get in the inner wheel arch here. I'm not sure. With this vehicle up in the air, there is various little screws and attachments and one thing and another. But if you've ever worked on these kind of cars, these little plastic trim clips with a Phillips head in them, they are an absolute pain to get off. And I have got a little pair of pliers that get in there and just hook underneath the head, and they pull out. Brilliant they are. Now, there's 2 8mm on each corner of the bumper, and a few little plastic fittings underneath. I think we're going to drop it down now and get the front bumper off. It's very simple to take off anyway. Now, as you can see, I've got that front bumper off, and we've got lots of room. Now, we do need to drain the coolant out of the system, and what we're going to be doing, there is a little drain bung right by there, but there's no point in draining it, because we've got to take the bottom hose off, and we're going to get some little spring clips and get that off and drain that coolant into a little receptacle. With that coolant drained out of the radiator, we now need to remove this crash barrier, which has got 6 12mm either side. Just disconnect the horn and the ambient air temperature, which I can do that now. Do that now, out of the way. We can get that bar pulled out. With that bar now out of the way, we can go ahead, and there's 4 bolts holding the little L brackets onto the front cross member, whatever you want to call it, this front panel. Now, to pull the rad out, by the looks of it, we're just going to have to disconnect the air conditioning lines. Now, you possibly could do it without removing it, but if you've got the machine, and the gas will come out if it's not empty already, because these are quite prone for the condensers leaking. This does look a little bit saggy, but however, there is pressure in it. If there's pressure in it, there's going to be gas in it. So we have degassed it. I'm going to make it safe to work on. And now, is that gas removed, we've uncoupled the 2 pipes at the top of the condenser, as they come out very easily. Sometimes they can be a little bit tight. I think if they were tight and they weren't going to come out, I think I would have gone down a different route. But everything's come undone nice and easily. So we're going to grab the radiator now and just pull it out of the way. And rest it. Where can I rest it? Let's just plonk it on my drawers by there. There we have it. That is one rad pack removed. It is fairly simple to do, to be honest with you. Now we need to remove the fan. There's these little clips on the side. They do just pull up, and that will slide backwards. Plonk that somewhere safe. As you can see now, where the bottom of that radiator has bowed like a banana. We were leaking from around this area somewhere. Like a banana, like a banana. I think we need to flip it over now and get the condenser off. To remove the condenser off the radiator, there is a 10mm that goes to the little bracket by there, and again, it is on them little, you push them clips up and it just slides off the rad, a little bit like that. But that isn't the best. But it's not leaking, it's not leaking, but we will be advising it. Right, well, a little bit of an update. Our parts branch haven't got one of these radiators in stock, and I ordered it this morning and it was meant to be transferred from another branch and they were meant to have it at 2 o'clock. And I've yet to have it. Now this car, believe it or not, needs to be out. I'm back with the customer tonight. Can it be done? I don't know. If the radiator turns up fairly sharpish, it will be getting done. Is it going to be done? Are we going to get this car done for 5:30? Nervous, very nervous, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. Nice. Let's wait a little bit more time. With a little bit of magic now, that new radiator has turned up and it is 4:45. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can get this radiator fitted to that car and boxed off. Now, the best thing to do with these, when you're rebuilding everything, is leave it on the cardboard box. Does that go that way? Or have I got it upside down? I don't know. Is it going? I don't even know which way it goes. Oh. I think, is it that way? Yeah, it's that way it goes. It's to leave it on the cardboard box to saves damaging anything. And there we go. I'm going to flip it over now. I've got a 10mm to put back in there. Whatever shot, I think it's underneath this cardboard box, I'm not sure. And then we're going to flip it over and put the fan back on. Right, well, we have now got everything built back up, a complete rad pack. We're going to slide it back into the car. Now, there is a radiator hose at the bottom. And it was a little bit awkward to get off. At the start. So I think I'm going to try and get it in a little bit, like this. I think, if only you could see my concentration face now. Got right going on. Anyway, that bottom hose now is on. We've got the top hose to connect. We should slide it into the bottom rubber mounts, a little bit like that. Then the top hose, we're going to put a little bit of, where's it gone? Where's my Obi Joyful gone? Put a little bit of Obi Joyful on it, so it'll slide on nice and easy. A little bit. There we go. That radiator is now, the pipe work is connected to it. We've got to go ahead and put the two little brackets on. But before we go any further, I think what I'm going to do is connect the air conditioning pipes. And while that's back in the system, I can be doing the rest of the work. I think what I'm going to be doing is, now I've got the air conditioning machine pulling a vacuum and doing what it needs to be doing, I'm going to put some coolant in the vehicle, make sure it is the correct one. Now these are a little bit of a pain to fill. I'm going to get some coolant in it. And I might even start the car and leave it ticking over and getting up to temperature while I'm putting the front end on. checking for leaks. Does that make sense? Rather than build it all up, I can be doing it. Yeah, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Looks like that car is now ticking over. We've got the aircon machine pulling a vacuum, doing its thing. That should be about 20 minutes. The coolant's full, and also the expansion tank is full as well. Now, I'm going to put it into a little bit of a time lapse and get this front end built back up. Right, well there you have it. That car now is all back together. I'll tell you what, them little plastic clips, oh, they can be a nightmare. Now, how long have we got left on the air conditioning? 2 minutes left. And the heaters now are just starting to get a little bit lukewarm. Is the temperature rising? Yeah, it's just off the cold now. So we are getting there, lovely and toasty. And job is a good one. Air conditioning is now topped up to the max. We've got our thermal imaging camera and making sure that everything is circulating. The radiator is getting nice and hot. And also, if we come into the car, you can quite clearly see that the vents, they're all getting nice and hot as well. And how are we looking for time? We are on 4:30. I've got just enough time now to put my tools away, download this video off my DJI, edit it very quickly, and get it posted, uploading for you lot to watch about 7:30, 8:30 tonight. So there we go. That is one radiator successfully replaced on a, I have to keep checking these numbers, a Hyundai i20 diesel. But there we go. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Let's get it done.